All right. Hello, everyone. We are live with Ambire Wallet. I'm Ivan, and with me is the CEO of Ambire, Ivo Georgiev.
Hi, everyone.
We're getting more and more professional now with a special intro for our episodes of our community calls. It's been some time since our last community call, and at Ambire, there's been a lot of development, a lot of new stuff coming up. So we decided that it's a good time to update all of our followers, supporters, to see where we are at. As you know, last week was Devconnect, the biggest event for the end of the year in the Ethereum ecosystem. And the Ambire team just returned from Argentina, so I couldn't help but start with asking you, Ivo, how was Devconnect? What are your takeaways? How did Devconnect go for our team?
So first of all, this was probably one of the best conferences for us that we've been to because we did a lot of networking, and the brand recognition of Ambire is at an all-time high. Partially thanks to the product adoption, but also partially thanks to Kohaku and the Ethereum Foundation. Then the other thing is that this event for me, it marks a return to core crypto values because there was a lot of purity at the event in the sense that very few vaporware projects and generally vaporware stuff was getting mentioned, and everyone was really focused on building real world stuff and on shipping to real users. And also, people have very clearly realized the value of trustlessness, of privacy, of open source, and generally of decentralization.
How about the location? Did you like Argentina?
Well, I can't complain. It has been on the better side of locations, but I think nothing beats Cannes
All
personally.
right. Cool. Let's talk about Ambire because, as I said, we've been shipping some improvements all the time. So we publish new versions of our wallet every month, and as always, we're trying to get the UX better, fix minor issues, but also add more and more small features that make our users' life easier. Can you talk about some of the latest improvements that we ship for Ambire, and where does the product currently stand?
Yeah, great question. So, as most of our community knows, in the last months, we've been focused on mostly on bug fixing and performance, and we've been greatly delivering on this. The stability of the product and the performance of the product are both a lot better. We've also obviously been shipping new networks all the time. We shipped Monad just a few days ago, which just launched. But for me, one of the most exciting updates is the fact that now we use two separate providers for the swap and bridge, which brings a lot more reliability and just better quotes, better routes. We now use simultaneously Li-Fi and socket in a way that we make them compete against each other, and we choose the best, pretty much the best route, and it works fantastically with just one click.
All right. Tell me more about two features in particular: the instant gas tank top-up and the O2 login.
Yeah, I was going to mention those. So, first of all, the instant gas tank top up is really cool because you basically top up the gas tank with any token you have. We support a lot of tokens, mainly stablecoins, but still a lot of tokens. Even if you have your tokens on Aave, you can still deposit in the gas tank, and it's reflected immediately. So you can spend that immediately. So you don't need to wait for any chain confirmations or anything like this. This has been enabled by a very big refactor in our gas tank system, which eventually is going to bring a few more cool things, like being able to pay gas cross account. So even if you have a gas deposit only in one account, you would be able to spend on any other account. And this is also private. So you can create a fresh account and you don't need to top it up with gas in order to start using it. You can use the shared gas tank of Ambire. So yeah, that's something really cool. And another thing that this refactor enables is it enables you to pay gas in a lot of cases where you otherwise wouldn't be able to. So essentially, what this means is in one transaction, you can do the thing you want to do, but also deposit into the gas tank and also pay through the gas tank.
By the way, speaking about the gas tank, someone around me told me yesterday or a few days ago that gas tank is usually a nice feature for onboarding new users. However, most of the crypto natives, the people who are seasoned, the degens, they don't have problem that much with gas because they all usually have the native tokens on their accounts. They have a lot of tokens and they swap easily. However, I just want to share my personal opinion that this is totally not the case because I've been using the gas tank for more than a year. And the beauty about the gas tank is that you just simply stop thinking about gas at all, no matter if you have the tokens or not. And especially with new chains, for example, where you may be a seasoned or a degen or a seasoned crypto user and have a large portfolio on mainnet or some of the layer twos, but let's say you start with a new layer two, you always have to do the usual stuff, swap and transfer some tokens to have to for paying network fees. And with gas tank, I think that this is a feature that makes all of our lives better.
I absolutely agree, and there are always some exceptions, but you have to consider that sometimes this feature is even more valuable for DGens, as you said, namely because DGens are the kind of people who would use new chains, and on new chains you start with no gas. So then you have to
Yeah.
figure out a bridge, and this is painful, especially for new chains where the bridge might not be available yet, or it might be slow. So and we have this feedback from the community. There's like maybe 1 in 10 or 1 in 5 people who say that they're not finding this that useful, but those people really don't jump on new chains all that often. And the rest find it extremely useful, especially as I said for new chains. And now with the shared gas tank, this is gonna become even more significant because you'll be able to use it also on new accounts. But yeah, it is a fact to some extent that on mainnet, especially with 7702, it has become a bit less used because on mainnet, a lot of people already have funds, especially with 7702, because before 7702, you had to create a new smart account in order to take advantage of the features in Ambire, and now you can just do it with your existing account. But also going back to the question, how to log in, this is something I'm really excited about, and it is a feature that is very easy to misunderstand. But basically what it is if you log into like Fileverse or OpenSea, some kind of access that is read only. It's not a write access. You can tell Ambire to remember this access. And some people freak out about security, but really there's nothing to freak out about because you are getting access to data which is already available on chain. And in fact, this feature was actually proposed initially by Vitalik. It was a feature request by him. So definitely, it's not like it's not a security risk in any way, but it is extremely convenient, especially for Fileverse, which is actually the first dApp that shipped it, and we actually worked together with Fileverse on this one. So yeah, but imagine if every time you open a spreadsheet on Google, it would log you out and it would make you like sign a message every time you open it or refresh the tab. This is extreme pain, and that's the problem solved there, and it's already live. You can use it with Fileverse.
That's amazing. As you know, at some point we decided that we'll be shipping Ambire Wallet for Firefox users and for the Firefox browser, which seems kind of little underserved in terms of stable, well-working crypto browser extensions and wallets. Can you share more light on why we took this decision and how hard is it to maintain Ambire Wallet for Firefox users?
So also fantastic question. So I don't wanna diss Firefox directly, but basically what's happening there is there's a lot of terrible policies and terrible reactions and generally um, I would say unprofessional behavior from Mozilla because we are getting kicked out of the store for the same things that when they get reviewed manually, everything is fine. But then it gets automatically flagged by their systems because they implemented basically a blanket ban on most of the crypto extensions because a lot of the crypto extensions were scams. And basically, we're getting targeted by those scam filters like all the time. And every time we go through a manual review, every time the problem is resolved, but the manual review is taking random amounts of time, sometimes weeks. So we've had to remove and add the link basically all the time. And yeah, basically we're not really happy with that, and we're not sure how long we can support it.
Yeah, but I've been getting here and there very, happy and thankful comments from Firefox users that they have the opportunity to have a, well-working crypto wallet for Firefox. So far, at least it looks an appreciated effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So by the way, about this, I would add a clarification that we can always upload a build for Firefox users, and it's not that hard for them to enable the build separately. So that's something to just keep in mind.
Nice. So you have a plan B, which is amazing.
Absolutely.
One of the also, so to say, significant UI and UX updates that we recently shipped was the new improved app catalog. And a few days ago, I read somewhere that there have been appearing those crypto scams on Google where someone mocks famous app like Uniswap or Aave, and they start running a sponsored ad, and sponsored results on Google, they usually come on top. And before Google systems detect those, they manage to trick some people who browse, use Google to look for apps, and they kind of scam them. So this has been super old but apparently still working crypto scam, and this is one of the main reasons behind our app catalog. And now it has an even improved looks. And this reminds me of a story that you can tell more about how we decided that at some point, because we have a curated list of apps on the app catalog, but at some point we decided that every emerging app that wills to be added to the app catalog will be able to do so by asking the Ambire community. And we recently had not one but two examples of apps added after a governance decision. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so one very good example was Bitrefill, which we did a very nice campaign with. But the other app, they bought tokens themselves and opened the governance proposal themselves, which kind of proves the value of the token in terms of governance. And basically, our thinking there was that the wallet, or I wouldn't say that we even should call it a wallet. It's the gateway to Web3, basically. So essentially, the software that is the gateway to Web3 is sort of a gatekeeper for your funds. And the way we see the future of this is kind of this invisible gatekeeper that saves you from these scam links. So this is one thing that we do. We check for known phishing addresses, but also can suggest you URLs to the good dApps in some ways. So this is basically a channel of dApp discovery, and this channel can be monetized. Monetized even isn't the right word. It can be democratized through the token in order to make basically a token curated list. This is a concept well known in crypto for a very, very long time. Token curated registries were kind of all the rage in 2016 and 17. It's a concept that always made sense. It just like blew through the hype cycle, and it's time for a new hype cycle for this concept because it's essentially there's a lot of solid ground behind it.
Absolutely amazing. Okay, before I jump to the next topic, I just wanted to remind to everyone who's watching that we're streaming on X, on YouTube, and under the streams there, but also on our communities on Discord and Telegram. You can ask questions, and now's the time to ask a question, and I'll make sure that we ask Ivo directly. So if you're wondering something about Ambire and on the topics that we're discussing, now's the time. I'm jumping to the next topic. I didn't have the chance to go to Devconnect sadly last week, but I was following all the discussions on X the whole week, and it looked to me that one of the main topics on the conference is privacy, as you said, going back to core crypto values, one of which is privacy, of course. And there's been a lot of discussions on privacy, and also the Ethereum Foundation launching the Kohaku project. And I wanted to have the chance to ask you more about what the Kohaku project is about and what is the link with Ambire.
Great question. So this is one of the main questions that we are getting all the time. So Kohaku, first of all, is a fork of Ambire, but it's not meant to be a production wallet. So the idea behind Kohaku is to create this experimental privacy wallet, and not only privacy, eventually down the line, it would have other features as well, like social recovery and interop. So basically, the idea of the Ethereum Foundation is to improve wallet UX for everyone. So basically, for all wallets, by building those features in this development wallet and then publishing an SDK, which is very easy to integrate. But I think this is extremely beneficial to us a bit more than everyone else, a bit more than MetaMask and Rabi, because the SDK is built basically in a fork of Ambire. So first of all, it would be really easy to integrate. And second of all, it's possible that it's also somewhat tailored towards Ambire, even though that is not its goal. The goal is to be accessible by everyone, including Rabi and MetaMask eventually down the line. But as I said, it's being developed in the Ambire environment. So that's very good for us. And we're helping them out when we can, like with some knowledge about the Ambire code base, knowledge about social recovery, even with privacy stuff now, but I can't disclose that now. But the point is, we are doing this out of belief generally. Belief in the value of privacy being normal for everyone, and because we eventually want this in Ambire. So yeah, we're very keen to help them.
That's amazing. And what are our plans on integrating Kohaku features, like the features that will be specifically implemented on Kohaku, the more privacy-oriented ones? Are we gonna then add them to Ambire? Some of
Yes,
them?
basically the plan is as soon as they are stable, we are adding them to Ambire.
All right. Aside from features like light client, private transfers, and so on, can we say that Ambire is already a privacy-oriented wallet?
Absolutely, 100%. And the way it's focused on privacy is that we don't use any third-party APIs. We radically minimize the usage of third-party APIs and even first-party APIs. We do use first-party APIs for a couple of things now. For example, for token prices and for token discovery. But Ambire can function just fine without those things. So like you can even go to your hosts file and blacklist the hosts of those APIs, and Ambire should work just fine. Of course, without token prices, without DeFi positions, and without token discovery. But this is something that we fall back really well. Because if you do a swap, we detect the token output from the swap automatically. Or if you do an even more complex DApp operation, as long as the RPC supports the bug trace call, we would automatically detect those tokens as well. So we work a lot to make Ambire as self-sufficient as possible and to make it depend only on the RPC, which is a very easy thing to change down the line into a light client and even add private information retrieval and make this experience fully end-to-end private, because privacy is a hell of a lot more than just private sends and receives, right? Like you can think of it this way, like if you have Ether, which is already private, like from Tornado Cash or privacy pools or whatever, and you put it into a new account, you are already cutting your own chain trace in a way. Obviously, as you use this address to interact with multiple addresses, this is a privacy leak as well. But the privacy leaks are not only on chain. There are also the stuff that the provider knows about you, that the RPC knows about you. In MetaMask and Rabi, their APIs know a lot about you as well. There was even a scandal with Rabi where it turns out they leaked a lot of session information in their debunk API. So building a wallet and making it private is a lot more than just private sends and receives. So you have to think about the fact that this is one of the reasons why the Ethereum Foundation chose Ambire to fork in the first place, because of this aversion to third-party providers. And this is something that also a lot of people that approach us on conferences find out the hard way, because we try not to be rude, but we say, guys, like you cannot show us this API for transaction simulation because we already do transaction simulation ourselves directly with the RPC. And this is something really important for us as a mindset. We don't want this privacy leak creep to happen. Because as time goes on, it's really easy to like add more features and leak a little bit of data with each of those features that you add. So it's really important to impose those restrictions on the development process. And this makes you ship a little bit slower, although I wouldn't say that we ship slow. But yeah. By the way, of course, another exception is LeFi and Socket for the Flopping Bridge, and another exception is the ERC 4337 bondwars, although the 4337 ecosystem is working hard to replace this with a decentralized mempool. And we are working also to replace, essentially down the line, those providers with an open system like Ethereum Interoperability Layer.
Nice. Wow. This was the
next topic,
yeah. This was the absolutely
Probably.
perfect way to dive into the next topic, the Ethereum Interop Layer. Ethereum, the foundation announced the Interop Layer actually at Devconnect as well, and you kind of shared the stage with big names of the foundation, and you did a demo on the Interop Layer with Ambire, which is
Stitch,
amazing.
which is a fantastic
And
app.
Stitch, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about what is the Ethereum interoperability layer and what problems does it solve?
Okay, excellent question and a lot to unpack. I would put it in my own words. I'm sure that the way that they describe it might be a little bit different, but the Ethereum interoperability layer is a bunch of primitives for wallets and apps to make Ethereum feel like one chain. So to make Ethereum and all layer twos feel like one consistent experience, but without sacrificing on privacy, trustlessness, censorship resistance, open sourceness, if that's even a word. But yeah, without sacrificing on all of those values and without making any sort of technical compromises which might erode those values. So in practical terms, what this means, the main component of it is the ability to sign with a single signature operations on multiple chains. So that's one of the primitives, and the other primitive is a very simple mechanism to transfer funds from one chain to another. So you can think of it as a mini bridge, but more trustless. And when you combine those two primitives together, you get a system which can allow you to consolidate balances, to perform different DeFi actions across different chains without even realizing it, and so on and so forth. And the main question that most people have with this is how is it different from the open intent framework, which is another project pushed by the foundation, and also Open Zeppelin and Uniswap. And the answer is really nuanced and really complicated, but what I'm going to say is that there is some overlap both in the concepts and probably in the usage down the line, but we're going to find this out. Essentially, intents are an alternative of transactions, which is higher level. So a transaction says, call this contract with this specific function with those specific parameters. And the function could be swap. The parameters could be one input token and one output token, versus an intent, which is like you sign a message saying, I want this amount of token out, this amount of token in. That's it. And you put this message out to a network of solvers. The solvers would find the optimum way to actually solve this intent. And usually in most systems, they would call an intent engine contract, which would pull the funds from your account on the relevant chains. And on the other relevant chains, it would resolve this and push the funds back to your account, the output. So one of the problems with this is that you leak some information to the solver, and the solver is able to front run you, to mave you, or to otherwise extract value from this valuable information. So the idea with the Ethereum interoperability layer is because you authorize all of the actions and you don't rely on any third-party execution, you actually hold a lot of this information for yourself and don't reveal it to anyone. But it still uses an intent-like system in the way that it moves funds between chains. This is still kind of an intentic system, but it's used only for the granular action of moving funds. It's not used for the entire thing that you want to do. And it's also complementary with intents in another way that eventually down the line, we might use the open intent framework to get some solution for a specific task that we can then execute using the Ethereum interoperability layer. But this is for more complicated routes and paths and bridges, which might require this external assistance. But for very simple routes, the wallet can be your solver. So Ambire can solve the bridge or swap inside the UI by just calling pools directly and calling liquidity providers directly. And in that way, much less data is leaked and you're protected from front running.
Amazing. Okay, but how does the end user benefit of all that? Like,
great question. So in practice, this is for the end user in practice, this is going to result in a privacy benefit, which is going to result in less MEV. That's I would say that this is the main thing. But down the line, it could help also like reveal your information to less parties. Even though the final solution is still posted on chain, obviously it needs to get confirmed on chain. There may be some cases where you have like a swap plus a private send or a private receive plus something else. And in this case, the privacy of this whole operation would be retained.
And how about the convenience of the interop layer? Like, what does making Ethereum feel like one chain again?
Yeah, great question. So I kind of focused on just the swap and bridge, but in practice, what it would also allow you is to forget that you have USDC on 5 different chains. This is basically the main benefit. You would be able to use to have your token balances consolidated. No matter on which chain there are, you wouldn't care about this anymore.
By the way, I'm really curious here. I'm thinking more and more. This is kind of an old topic, but kind of connected. I've seen this meme of all the currently available stable coins that are like already hundreds, and now with the regulations there, um, in the US they're enabling private companies to be launching their own stable coins. Revolut is probably expected to launch one, Stripe, and so on. And how do you think this will result in terms of UX? Because stable coins don't show any signs of stopping, and there'll be more and more. And how do you think we will be? What do you think we will be doing as wallet developers in order to simplify the user's journey?
So we have a very good friend who is a Web3 founder. His name is Hannes. Shout out if he is listening. He's the founder of Zio Wallet and also an Ambire user. And he came up with something really cool, which is in Zio Wallet, all of the stable coins are just shown as USD or, of course, whatever it is, cash. So Zio Wallet has the concept of cash and everything else. So it just consolidates not only like all the USDTs into one USDT across chains, but it consolidates USDT with USDC. And I'm not really familiar, but it probably consolidates different fiat types as well. So Euro, USD, whatever. So I think that this is kind of the future there, just consolidating everything and kind of erasing this abstraction from the user. And like using an abstraction to erase this concept for the user. And under the hood, it can, like, if you have a large amount of stables, it can keep them in Aave or whatever with user consent, of course. So yeah, I think that down the line, I think we should be abstracting those away because very, very, very few people care about which kind of stablecoin is used. Although I personally care about not eroding the trustlessness. So some stable coins I would totally avoid. Some stable coins I would use. So this doesn't mean that you cannot abstract it away. Like you can ask the user at some point, hey, what is your policy on this? Are you okay with holding like super centralized stable coins, or do you want to stay like completely trustless? That's kind of not possible yet with stable coins because we had like one truly trustless, which was DAI 1.0, the original version, with the original maker protocol, just collateralized with ETH, but now it's collateralized with centralized stables as well. So we have very few solutions for this. We have Reflexer, I think, but yeah, we have very few solutions for truly decentralized stablecoins. But yeah, I think that this will be a good balance of user preference and abstracting it away.
Okay. Is there anything that I forgot to ask you for this stream? Anything that you wanted to say to more than 200 people currently watching?
Yes, although we will have a separate stream for rewards, what I would say is that we are planning a new season, which is going to be radically different, and it's going to benefit loyal users more than anything. So watch out for that and tune into our rewards stream.
Yeah, totally. Ending the episode with a teaser for the next one is amazing. Yes, we are very near the end of the season of the season one of Ambire Rewards, and yes, soon we will be discussing and revealing what the changes will be and helping people prepare for the next season. So, yeah, keep an eye on our socials for the next stream. Thank you for today, Ivo. I haven't seen any questions or stay a little. I've actually seen some. Okay, someone asked when there will be a Shistu Labubu. Shistu is, yeah, Shistu is another update. We introduced a brand asset for Ambire, our mascot. It's called Shistu. Yeah, you'll be seeing him more and more on our socials. Let's see if we have any questions beyond the Labubu. Okay. Mainly people cheering. That's nice. All right. Okay, I don't see questions. So in this case, we can wrap up here. If you
Joe,
have any
do you
questions,
want to add anything to the stream?
well, I was planning to do the rewards teaser, but you did it already, so I think I'm fine. Yeah, perhaps something that I wanted to add. This is some exclusive Ambire merch that you'll probably see more in the future. But the amazing story behind this, that someone on the Ambire community, can't recall at the moment, posted a mock-up on Twitter and said, "Hey, why don't you do those, like the purple logo on a purple sweater?" And we were like, yeah, why not just do it? So these are the first batches of the purple Ambire sweaters. So thank you for giving us good ideas on the community. Keep them more, and you might see even more interesting stuff. And yeah, stick around to keep up with the latest on Ambire and see where the next live stream will be. And also, I wanted to thank to everyone who joined today.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good one. Bye.
Have a good one.